Hey YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger. These are the winter demos. I just been playing a lot of guitar. I got this new yellow one, and my pal had asked me, "Hey, have you been playing the Strat a lot?" And I said, "Oh man, I got four new songs." And if you have been around here and you remember at the beginning of the lockdown, we did six, I think, live, uh, almost like a streaming concert, Gonzart, I called them, and it was just a webcam filming us here in our little practice area, which is just a it's a mono price 8 channel mixing board, and it has a effect loop, so we run a little echo unit on it, and then there's an MP3 player to play the drum tracks, and I run through my multi effects here. I've got cables run, so it's you just basically plug in and put headphones on, and then there's a foot switch for the MP3, and that's all stored on an SD card. So I can put in whatever drum tracks songs we want to play, pop it in the setup. We hit one switch, everything comes on. We put our headphones on, tune up, and we can go. Now the neat thing about that is, while we were shooting it with a webcam, there's a USB connector on this mixer, and that gives me digital audio out into the computer. So I can grab that audio and don't have to worry. I mean, it's a pretty decent little setup for what it is. It sounds okay. Uh, the idea of me just writing these four songs and then having to sit on them till next year, I thought, well, maybe somebody would want to hear us play this stuff a little early. I know it's a lot to ask. It's a lot to sit through. It's four songs. The mix isn't that great. This was just like we're just playing it. We just basically learned this stuff over the past couple of days playing here at home, up until the point where now I've got maybe some pain on my fingers are shot. So I'm not going to be able to play anymore. Like today was it. And we've only played these songs 3 days, and we played them a lot to try to get good at them and try to learn them. And then this way, I'll have the demos, and next season, when it's time to play these songs, it won't be like, oh man, how does that go? I don't even remember what key it's in. We'll have this as a reference. So it's not so much a big thing like bump 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 bump, PD Two Finger and the duo demos. Like, line up and get ready to have a chip implanted so you can listen to them. Join our club. This is just like the hard part of it was me clicking to record. When we played these things, because we weren't thinking about getting a perfect take. There's massive mistakes. This is like the mixes are not that good. We just played it. It's meant to be raw. There's mistakes all over it. So this is what you see is what you get with the duo. It's four new pieces of music. I do talk a little bit in between to try to explain some of the stuff that I thought was worth saying. So enjoy these demos, and I will talk to you guys later. This came to me after the album that I recorded in January this year. What's that called? Semantical Nightmare. This came to me right after I did Semantical Nightmare, but it's something I used to play in my bedroom when I was probably 17. And I slept. One of those on there.
but I think it was supposed to be called Another Way Out. It's like it's a picture of someone singing that over this at one point of the phrasing. It seemed to fit. And then after I come back and did a second pass on the MIDI to add sound effects, and I should be clear, it's not really MIDI, but it is. It's half MIDI and half digital audio. And I say that because when I use the word MIDI, to me that conjures to mind really fake sounding drums or instruments. And these are samples, I think. So whatever they are, they sound a lot better than the MIDI that I grew up with. But I added a bunch of sound effects to this piece, and then we dropped the another and just called it Way Out, because it's way out there in me. watching that pedal show, is what it's called, on YouTube. That pedal show. And the old Hobbit guy that plays the gourd, not him, the guy on the left who plays the BC Rich and like more modern pointy, that guy, he played something akin to, and I was like, man, that's a smoking riff. And I immediately went to steal it and wrote this thing and did a MIDI for it. And I was like, man, this is Petey's big blues debut. And then I went to show it to Gonti, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is a Yardbird song, isn't it? So I discovered not only had I unconsciously stolen the whole thing, that it's a blues standard. It's Howlin' Wolf's big song. And the next day I went to disguise it. I went to add more MIDI trickery and try to hide my complete lack of musical integrity and knowledge, and I inserted what I thought to be really hilarious wolf sound effects and train sounds. And then, of course, I go to show it to Gupty, and I'm like, wait a minute, Smokestack, that's a train, and the guy's name is Lightning Wolf. So I don't know if you're going to understand how incredibly dumb the PD is.
Well, there you go. Those are the winter demos. These are 4 songs that we've been playing. I just recently threw these together. I wrote them, and over the period of a few days, I worked on the drums. And then I kind of went back and spent more time doing the additional sound effects. So if you'd like to comment, let me know if you had a personal favorite or what you like, what you didn't like. Um, Keep in mind, we only played these songs for 3 days, okay? And it takes us a little longer than that to really learn them. For me, the process of actually what I would call like writing it or figuring out my part takes a little longer than that because I'm not that good. And oftentimes, after playing it for a while, I'll catch on to what needs to be done gracefully, or how I can make it sound less awkward or less like I'm making so many mistakes. So this was a real raw look at what we do today, warts and all. But that being said, like I'm really proud of how well Compty does at picking up on the stuff and learning it. how we're able to just in the over the course of a few days go from nothing and then end up with what we have here today, which might not be perfect, but hey, I'm proud of it. So let me know what you thought. Also consider that like now from here I've damaged my fingers from playing so much. When we play these songs, we don't play them once. We'll go through the set list at least like 6 times, sometimes more. Play the song 8 times in a row, or 8 times in the night. And what's really helpful, is to have a few. Like that way, if you get hung up on one thing, well, don't keep beating a dead horse. Go back to the first one. Anyway, that's the way I really love to do it. Is with a group of songs. The best period that I had was after when I realized I had to start writing new material for the duo, and I sat and wrote like about a dozen pieces. I just kept at it in here on the software and working with the sound effects, and then I presented all this to Gomti, and we learned it and played it, and that was a really fun time for me. I look back on that very fondly, and I'm very proud of that first group of songs, although we've kind of worn out playing them. But they hold a special place in my heart, and they're not going anywhere. That's the thing. When you do this stuff for fun, you can kind of do what you want to do. And if I get sick of something, well, we don't have to play it. And I like having a larger pool of songs that I can kind of rotate through, write some new ones, and eventually cut loose a lot of the stuff that I'm not so hot on. So, what do you think? All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Hug your pets, stay warm, and peace.